Oh, I love
There's
that
Mr.
picture.
Howell coming in right now.
I thought he was like legit.
The River City Madman from New Martinsville, West Virginia. Mr. Brandon Howell is in the building.
What's happening?
How you doing, Brandon? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Well, pleasure's all ours, man. We are honored to have you on here.
So greetings from the U.S.
I was telling Matt that you are officially the second American to be on this show in the 2 years plus we've been doing it.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, man. So we're honored to have you.
Well, it's an honor to be here.
Freaking rights. What's up, Ash? Welcome back, my brother.
Nice to be back. Hello. Nice to see you again.
Hello. So yeah, Brandon, I don't know how familiar you are with the show. Ash has been on here once already. This is Matt's first time. Generally, like, this isn't an interview, so we don't have like a set list of questions that we're going to be specifically asking you. We're just
an intervention.
Yeah. Fuck it. How do we want to do that? Are you planning on playing live music tonight, Matt, or what do you have in your head?
Well, I wasn't planning on doing anything in particular unless you wanted me to. I mean, in terms of live music, we have the videos that I sent you.
That's right.
Other than that, I think we're just talking. But if you want me to do something like right at the end, let's go right ahead.
That's why I say and I shot. What a good shot, man. That's why I say and I shot. Good shot, man.
shout out to Evan tonight and all the Northern Royals guys for opening up to Monster Truck. I would have gone tonight if, you know, I would have gone tonight if I didn't have to talk to you two son of bitches. So.
Okay.
You might have wanted to
you
go to
two
Monster.
meddling kids. You know what I mean? Yeah. You are tuned into the greatest show on earth, gentlemen. I'll
Well,
tell you.
we appreciate that, man, so much. And
Yeah.
dude, like, let's just fucking dive right into it, and we'll do intros later. But I think
Woo!
Matt just did a great intro. Actually, I could use that right up at the front. These episodes of the Sit Down Podcast are brought to you by Inspired Vapor Company. Drop the darts, man. Those guys are legit there to help you quit smoking and transition to vaping to help you quit nicotine. I struggled with a nicotine habit quite aggressively and used vaping to quit smoking. I was 4 years without smoking and had a cigarette and went hard in the paint. So these guys, I'm working with them right now too. They're helping me kick that habit. So I currently am vaping. Thanks, guys, for the help and support to kick the habit, man. So hit those guys up for any help if you're struggling with that. InspiredVaporCompany.com. There's 3 locations in Saskatchewan here, and use the promo code Moose10 at checkout for 10% off. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So the main reason why I invited you guys in here, like, as you know, we're from Saskatchewan. I am such a big fan of Matt, like what you guys are doing, the collaborative season sessions that you guys are doing.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, I wish that we were doing something like that out here. I love the camaraderie of it, how you guys doing the cover songs, and they all sound great, man. Can you tell us, like, when did that start? Like, and like how it came to fruition? How do you know all these freaking guys? And, like, you know, give me an origin story of it.
Okay, here we go. So Collabo season. Well, before I actually tried to start this, Ash knows because he was on the proto version of what Collabo season could have been. I tried to start this in 2020. We had a cover of a Fallout Boy song, you know, the one, This Ain't a Scene, It's an Arms Race.
The one we never finished.
No. When we never finished, we had that on board. Me, him, and Matt Curry, we had something on. I had a singer who was available to do it, but there's the lyric, This Ain't a Scene, It's a Goddamn Arms Race. But the guy said, okay, I'd love to sing this, but I'm Christian, so I can't. And then it just kind of fell apart after that.
Oh.
But, you know, whatever. So I just sat back for a while, and then I was just live. So here's the thing. Somebody else who should be here, who's an integral part of a pretty important part, I would say, of this is actually Dale McIntyre from Exo Merida, because he set me off. I mean, I was sort of inspired from 6'6" Samus, the drummer, if you know him, to start doing lives and stuff like that. But when I saw Dale doing some lives, making songs and other stuff, like some of the Exo Merida music that you're hearing right now, he was cutting some of that up and putting it together on live and just, you know, like on Instagram. And then I started doing live drum streams just off my phone from here. And, you know, when I started in November of 2020 or fall of 2020, which is about the same time I met Brandon online, you know, this basement looked a lot different. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't renovated yet, but, you know, he inspired me to start doing that to some extent. He was actually on the first stream because I document all this stuff. And I've just been doing drum streams ever since on Friday. But besides the point, the other thing that he did, you know, I came in there and then we started discussing, okay, you know, maybe we should do some collaborative stuff like that. And I said, okay, we got an idea. Let's do a Linkin Park song. You know, I actually wanted to do Bleed It Out, you know, with me and maybe some other rapper or something that I could get on the track. But then I said, okay, let's do Crawl because I couldn't find this guy. I said, well, we need a vocalist. Who are you going to get? He said, well, I usually work with Evan Chandler. Well, I didn't know Evan from a can of paint. I didn't know Northern Royals really like that, but he dragged him into it. Well, let me put that in a more positive way. He brought him into it, you know, oh God, I got to go do this. No, he brought him into it. Right. And so we just knocked that out and it just seemed to be pretty popular. It seemed to work pretty well. And even before that point, well, actually, just let me give a little more of the origin story before I get into how Collabo season, the title came about. So yeah, we just go ahead. We do that cover of Crawling. It got some pretty good reception and it started connecting me to a lot more people. And I just did that over a few more episodes. Next one was with Ash and our boisterous bassist, Nathan Keeler. Next one was with, I believe, it was Ash and the Arsonist again. Then John, then my guy Rick out in BC. Shout out to Rick Chappell. Brandon and I might be doing something with him. I don't know. And then we did something with Evan and Dale and Adam Halstrom for Plain as Ghost, which I believe is one of the videos that we'll see later on. It was a cover of Filter's Hey Man, Nice Shot. And I think that was the one that really started Collabo season cracking off. And then the episode right after that, you know, was the first one that I did with this guy. We did Free For All by Ted Nugent. And we were actually going to do Mississippi Queen, which came out later that year. But, you know, we had another guy that just, you know, he just sort of disappeared. But we ended up putting that out anyway. And, you know, it's just that Brennan and I ended up doing a whole bunch more tunes. And I started working on with a whole bunch more tunes. And, you know, this is just how it goes. Now, before I continue about how I know the rest of these people, I mean, well, for one, I'm connected out here in the Winnipeg scene. And the funny thing is, like, up until that point, I had been in the scene. I've been around this circuit since like 2016 through 2017. So like 5-6 years, something like that. And for the first few years, up until the turn of the decade, I was just kind of like, you know, I'm hanging around. I'm getting to know these guys. Everything's cool. But I don't feel like I'm on that level of respect. People giving me my respect here. It didn't really connect to me, you know, in that respect, that because they didn't really know I was doing anything per se, they didn't really know I was just out here drumming and all that kind of stuff. So after that 6th episode, you know, like after, because we had this lockdown, everything else, we couldn't see each other, couldn't gig, do all that stuff. You know, things changed from that point, let's say like in 2020, 2019, when I last saw these guys, up until 2021. And then when I see these guys over at Shannon's after that Hey Man, Nice Shot cover, the whole gang is, well, Shannon's is a pub in Winnipeg, for those that don't know. So I go down there, and because Dale, who was just on my cover, was performing down there with Scott, who's also an EXO. They were doing a little acoustic gig down there. And I was just going down there to entertain and think it's just going to be these two guys. The whole gang from Winnipeg happens to be there. And it's a total scene change, because now everyone's like, hey, man, I love the covers, et cetera, et cetera. And, man, you're killing those covers, man. That's awesome. Yada, yada. Hey, come sit down at the table. Now I feel like I'm part of the gang, you know, and I haven't. It just, the respect is just compounded since then, and people just become more and more interested. You can just see it on how, you know, how the returns have been on Facebook, on Instagram. People are tuning in. More people want to work. And like I said, you know, it's a matter of the internet, because some guys like Brandon are just from places that are a fair distance away from Winnipeg. And another video we'll probably see, I had Ash on, I had another guy from Massachusetts, I had a guy from Columbia, South America.
Well, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off here, Matt,
Right.
but I'm going to stop you right there, and I'm going to toss it over to Brandon. So
Sure.
Can you tell us how, like, your side of it, how you came in across from Matt? Like, how did you find him, and like, how did that relationship start?
Well, the whole thing with Matt, how that sort of came about was I had just got on Instagram one day and happened to come across back when it was still called Instagram TV.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
I still happened,
Back in
I
those
still
days.
that yeah, before they changed it to Reels and TikTok garbage. And we were he popped up on Instagram TV, because everything I do essentially on my Instagram handle is all music related. That's strictly all that it is. So I saw this video of him playing, I don't remember what it was. It was
Stranglehold. That was Stranglehold on the guitar with a talk box.
No, that wasn't what I seen. Was it? I don't remember.
That's the first contact I believe I had with you, was just dinking around with that, and I was just tagging people in that I thought would be interested.
yeah,
And your
tag
other
me.
account, which was River City Madman, and then I just
Yeah.
got you the other account.
And you got me the other one, because I had two. I have two, but only one's active. But yeah,
Right.
he tagged me in that, and I was like, well, this is interesting. This is pretty cool. So then it started to, I saw the videos of him he started doing these like little snippets of covers where he would say, okay, comment what you want to hear and we'll do it. And I'll play it. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, you know, what am I going to? So I just started throwing all these covers out saying, hey, we'll do, as you can see from my t-shirt, big Kiss fan, go on and say, we'll do Creatures of the Night. And he hops on and he does it. And I go, all right, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and so it begins.
And so it began. So I said to myself, I said, you know what? So I pumped his video, the drum audio, through my studio, and then put it through the studio monitors, 150 watts aside, and shot a video of me playing along with him
Oh, hell yeah.
playing the intro because that's in how much more it was, and playing the guitar up until the first verse. Then the video cut off. And I said, check this out. And then I shared it and tagged him in it. And then he started doing the Instagram live jam nights.
Yep.
And I said, well, you know what? I don't really want to butt in, but you know what? I get an invite from him. And I'm like, okay, we're going to hop on here and see what this is all about. So I hop on, and him and I have talked about this so many times because we went over and over it. Say, man, it's crazy how we found each other doing all this. And then he hops on and he goes, grab your guitar. So I have my guitar in my lap. He said, what do you want to play? And I'm like, I don't care. This is all impromptu. I don't care. Essentially, it started becoming this name this tune or play that riff. We were on there probably, what would you say, Matt? Probably an hour.
Well, yeah, that's usually what I do. I mean, an hour by most streamer standards is a short stream, but for me, that's enough. I like to go out after and do what I do. So I usually go from 7:30 to 8:30, or if I got to go out to the lake during the summer, it's like 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So I usually just go for an hour, and that's about it.
And that's Manitoba time.
When you have to go to the lake. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's total. And I'm an hour ahead of everybody. So.
Oh.
good child, couldn't let it go. Ooh, I just couldn't let her so. Said the train kept a rolling all night long. 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 And he and her, but I just couldn't let her.
So where are you?
I'm in New Martinsville, West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
And that's the funny thing. Like, he'll always hit me up about sun, say evening. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're talking about evening.
I'll say, just be like, I'm like, good evening. And he'll text me back and he goes, dude, it's not even 4 o'clock here yet. I said, well, it's 5 o'clock here. And it's that in West Virginia, that's called the evening.
Well, okay,
So
understandable. I get it.
So Brandon has to go to bed soon.
No, I don't.
No. He'll be up for hours talking. Man. It is what it is, man. No,
Yeah,
we got time.
What was cool about it was Matt would say we were playing there, and he goes, hey man, you know Psycho Circus from Kiss? And I'm sitting there in the back of my mind, I'm going, haven't played that in about 10 years, but let's go ahead and see what happens. So we start playing it and have a good thing, and then we start having latency issues, and he says, you know any Montrose? And I'm like, yes. We start playing a couple Montrose tracks back and forth. And then I said, you want to do some Nugent? He said, yeah. And I started playing Stranglehold Riff. And if I could have taken a screenshot of his face when I picked that riff off, his face was like, whoa. And he goes, and I remember him telling me, he said, man, that sounds just like the record. I'm like, well, thank you. Just off the cuff, you know. But yeah, that was, and then it just took off from there. And like he said, we started the Collabo season. I told him, I said, because I have watched all the ones that they did up to the time that him and Ash and all the other guys from Exomerita and Boisterous and everything had done. And I told him, I'm like, you know what, this would be really cool. I got a hold of him. I said, hey, if you ever need a guy to collaborate with, hit me up. I'll do it.
I was suggesting it to him first, actually.
Yeah, he suggested it to me, and I said, yeah, that'd be cool. And then he turns around and I said, hey, you want to do something? And then it was kind of like a mutual thing where we both kind of met in the middle and said, hey, let's do something. It was July that he got a hold of me and said, hey, let's do Mississippi Queen. And I said, okay, I'm down. You're not going to twist my arm. So we did that, and then we waited for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And the guy that we had would come, he like vanished. We don't know where he went. He's MIA still. And
I did touch back, but I did see him like something or view a story of mine a little while ago. So I know he's out there, but it's just, I don't know, some people, you know, it's the creative scenes, it's the music, it's everything else. You know, people get weird and they go their own way and do certain things. So
and I will say,
we just kept rocking.
Sorry, Matt. And I will say this, you know, and I've told Matt this a million times, and I told him that, you know, him and I, the way that we work together, we both have the same goal in mind. What I love about it is that it's a respect and love for the music, and there's no ego, no BS, no nothing when it comes down to something. He's not afraid to tell me that, to say, you know, hey, you know, that part there didn't sound quite as right as the record. And I'm the same way with him, like, you know, that
dog ears.
Yeah, that's what we call him. I call him dog ears. Because he if a note is barely out, he goes, that he said, you said that note's like a barely out there. Just go back and listen to this again. And then he will pick the most crazy things up out of a mix.
Right.
When I've been sitting here for hours playing and work and cranking out a song, he's like, you need to check that, but I'm not too sure, but try it. And usually like on the most recent one that's coming out this Friday, which if Matt wants to tell you about that, he can tell you about that. But I was doing the guitar solo and he hollers at me and he says, that one note in that guitar solo, I don't think is right at the end of that one lick at the end. And I'm like, wait a second. I go back and I listen and he goes, you jumped right into it. He goes, you gotta lean into that note a little bit more. And I looked and I went back and listened to it. I said, well, are you freaking kidding me? Right.
Well, that okay.
My ears are ringing by this time all day long. And he texted back, he goes, dog ear strikes again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
sorry, Matt. That actually that made me think of two questions that I want to get out here before I miss the opportunity. One of them being, is the intent on the songs, the covers of the songs, to be as close to the original as possible? And two, second part of that is, because they're so like in tune with like the melody and everything of these covers that you're playing, do you get copyright claims on your YouTube channel as a result of that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll actually do the second part of that first. Yes, I do actually. A lot of times you do get demonetized because, you know, that's on the publishing side of things, where it's just like the algorithm detects that you're copying that melody.
Yes.
So it's demonetized because you're violating that publishing agreement there.
Right.
So a lot of times that's how close we are. But, you know, since we're not using the master, we don't get hit with that. But, you know, like, here's the thing to the first part of that. And then there's other things that I might be forgetting as I go, you know, but let me just answer the first part of that there. So, I mean, the intent is, because I do like to be very exact and I'm not too prickly about it. Like me and him, like the way he was just describing it, we do like other people that I work with, like when I'm doing a mix or whatever, like he's describing these things, I'll send a mix over. He'll be like, okay, pan this way, pan this that way. Okay, turn this up a little more here, there. So it's just like a mutual agreement that we do. So other people that I work with, you know, I could just do a couple little things that I learned from him about the mix in GarageBand. I'm a simple man. And I could just shoot that over to him and be like, yeah, okay, that's good. That's fine. But this guy and we do full blown surgeries on songs, man. Like we get right down to the science of it because we studied it and we understand it and we love it that much. And we just really want to honor it to a certain extent. And both of us,
right.
I think
that makes sense.
There's just an amount of innate feel and talent that we both have. Not everyone has it. I mean, you can always learn a lot. But me and this guy right here, you know, you could tell just by the groove that we have in certain songs. Like I sent over the Arsonist video, the Train Kept Rolling video that we did. And I think that's our best thing that we did thus far. We might play that later. And you'll just see, like, especially in the second part when it starts hauling, man, you'll hear what I'm talking about with that groove. But I mean, the main part that I'm trying to articulate is essentially this. I mean, I try to get as close as I can. You know, I just try to really get down to the details, but you always have to have a point where you're like, okay, you know, this is good enough. And there has to be some kind of room for individuality. Like there's like in his terms, embellishment, right? So there's a certain amount of leeway that you have to give for people to add their own spin into it. So it still sounds like them. Like you're covering the song to your best of your ability and making it sound like the song, but you still give people enough room to express themselves because, you know, that's just what music and creative arts, all this stuff is really about. And that's just a part of the greater purpose of Collabo season, really.
Right.
So where does Ash come in all of this?
Oh,
go ahead.
Where do I come in?
Yeah.
Usually Matt will message me and say, hey, I got this song. And that's it.
And I need some
He's actually
Ash that was Ash. Thanks, Ash.
Ash, can you tell us, like, when you first met Matt, like, how did you guys join forces? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we had I was buddies with a band he's still part of called Twang Bomb, and that's how I met Matt at first. And we started hanging out, and you know, he was a nice guy.
I heard that too.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I kind of think that we might have talked about this the last time you were on, Ash. We might have touched loosely on how you guys did that.
Yeah. So, it's I don't know. I bugged him to join our band because the old drummer wasn't working out anymore, and took some convincing, grabbed him by the legs and stuff. And yeah, we
Got some long legs too.
yeah, it's been fun ever since. We're both very, I don't know, very motivated to try make some music. So it's been a nice working partnership.
Spreading disease. This wretched mischief is now coursing through your souls. Never to let go. Never to let go. Sanctum, you let them in. Now all your loved ones and all your kin will suffer punishments beneath the wrath of God. Never to forget, never to forget. Devastation's left your cities to be burned, never to return, never to return.
Sorry for the interruption, you guys. I just wanted to tell you guys about Muse Canada. They're a new arts and entertainment media connection and support network. Skip the algorithms of social media and connect with other entertainment professionals across Canada. Sign up today for $5 a month or use the promo code FunkyMoose2021 for 10% off. That is FUNKYMOOSE2021 for 10% off. Back to the show. Dude, I can't even explain to you guys how much I enjoy the videos that you guys are putting out there. I'll be honest. So for those of you watching or listening, as you can see, we Matt likes to talk, which is a great thing. We like that. And to give the listeners a little bit of an example of how ambitious and motivated Matt is, the first couple of videos that had come out, I had messaged Matt. I was like, yeah, man, like, this is great. I love this. Anytime you got a video to come out, like tag me in it and I'll share it. Oh, dude, it's like nonstop. I get tagged on everything. And I have to apologize to you, Matt, that I have not shared everything. And it's not like I love them all. I'm going to tell you to your face that I love them all. But there is like a reason why I haven't shared every single one. It's because like I don't like no disrespect, but it's like you have so much content out there, Matt. Like my whole feed would be just bombarded with all your stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
so it's
I
like,
understand.
I have to like delegate and pick and choose. Like, all right, this one.
It would be this. Joel's feed is sponsored by Matt.
Yeah, right. Like that's what it would look like.
Well, look, I totally understand, right? Now, I just thought it was like, okay, anybody who isn't a Canadian, like if I'm working with Brandon, okay, that's when you're not using it. But no, I understand why you can't do that because I always am delivering. And the main thing is, right? See,
but I don't want you to stop doing that. Like that's not. I'm not going to stop. Like I want you to like. I love it, dude. I love it. But I just wanted to like clear the smoke there. And if you were ever wondering, like, well, he told me he would do this, because I consider myself a man of my word, right? If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I did tell you that I would share them all, and I haven't been doing that. So I just want to,
totally fine.
Explain myself. That's all.
There's no problem. Let me continue about just, consistently delivering. So the thing is with me, I'm only really a content creator by circumstance. By circumstance, I mean, no gigs, lockdown, et cetera, and just, bands, not a lot of opportunities really happening with the respective bands that I'm with. And I'm like, let me just say this because Ash is on. I'm not saying that as disrespect to anything. It's just with the circumstances, it's been a little difficult, just navigating and getting things done. And Ash and the Arsonist, we do plan to get into gear and keep doing things. We definitely do work. It's just sometimes just hard to coordinate these things. This is how I occupy my time in the meantime. But the main thing is, right, since I'm just, I'm content creating all this kind of stuff, since I have to be a content creator, or at least I chose to be, right?
Right.
The main thing that I read I can't remember, I think it was in, I'm sure you're familiar with Ari Herstand's book, How to Make It in the New Music Business. That is a gem of a book. It was either that or 1 Million Followers by, I forget the other guy's name that wrote that one. But what they say is you have to keep delivering content. You have to be able to keep people interested. It's like that 3 to 4 year album cycle is just not going to interest people to a certain extent. If you're only posting a couple of times a month, a couple of times a week, you're not going to interest people to the same extent. So I've got all this time because currently I'm not working, although I am going to get in the phone with a couple of career advisors starting tomorrow. Maybe I shouldn't get into that, but at the moment
we'll get into
really
that
working.
after the show. We'll get into that.
I'm not really in the cogs of the machine at the moment, but because of that free time, or at least partially, I have all the time to be able to create this. Right. And I just, like I said, hey, you just got to keep hitting them. And I'm motivated to go the distance and go as far as I can with it. And you see, like, I just got to keep hitting it, putting out. And you'll see, like, there's been stretches where I've gone 8 episodes, 6 episodes. This man you see in the lower left corner, he has been a big part of both of those streaks. And there's probably going to be more in the future, but the point is you just got to keep giving people's attention and just making it better. You see, like before, I told you I had the basement, which was, it looked way different. Now it's soundproof. You got the camera you see me on right there. You got one there that I shot this week's video with. Very good camera. Same camera right over there. I got lights over here. I got this new microphone that I'm speaking on, this E8010. I didn't have that on the first 2 Collabo seasons. I was recording off my phone. But, you know, now we're here and now we're doing it. Oh, yeah, I got these lights too. Man, I could go on and on. But the point is just
consistency.
Consistency. That's what it is.
Right. Hell yeah. I'm like, I feel winded a little bit now.
Yeah.
And one more thing, if I can just add this, and just as another
Of course. Keep
and
going.
then we can continue.
We got all night, bro. We got all night.
Before I can continue, the one thing, like, I was going to talk about the origin of the title Collabo season, and just speaking of like in terms of creating content and just being an internet presence, whether you want to or not or whatever. Where I just before I even made a collab, I came up with that maybe like a couple months out, how I wanted to start this, because all I'm thinking in my mind is just branding, just something that is clear, that is short. It's a little catchy. It rolls off the tongue, to the point. Something specifically that you can see trending on the Twitter, like in the hashtags over there. Like if you look on trending right now, you would see Collabo season. Oh, what's going on? A bunch of people tweeting Collabo season in regards to something, and a Collabo season episode just came out, and just have that come out. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's like you have a name like, okay, Beatles, Rolling Stones. That's short. That's recognizable. You see the logo. You see this. You see what it is. And then it's just a matter of, okay, quality branding every week. Well, not every week, but, you know, just whenever I can get them out, and just all the things that are associated with Collabo season.
Right. The
the
intro to the videos, the sound at the intro, what is that, like an amp getting plugged in or whatnot? Like that definitely, I think that's a huge thing of your branding, because like I hear that, and to me that it makes me think of you guys right away. I know what it is. It's oh shit, here's another one, right?
That made its debut on the second episode. I didn't do it on the first episode. It made its debut on the second episode. I just found a couple of copyright-free sounds that I just thought were cool off of YouTube, downloaded them. Okay, amp noise sound effect, crowd sound effect right after, fade out. There you go. And it's just the same trademark thing every time. And then right at the end, okay, audio mixed by, video mixed by, or video edited by. And then all the social media links for wherever you want to follow the artists that are on there, check them out. That's how it goes.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Hell yes. I want to bring it back to Ash here again. So since do you remember how long it's been since you've been on the show?
Oh, I think it was in the summer.
Last summer? About?
Yeah.
Have you been doing any other performances beside the Collabo season?
I think Arsonist did. I think we did 2 festivals last summer.
I did that thing at Rumpley, the Seven Dust.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. Matt remembers these things better than I do. When it comes to interviews and stuff, immediately as soon as it's mentioned, they're like, Matt, do
Matt.
Matt.
Well, keep in mind, this isn't an interview. We're just hanging out here, right?
So this doesn't count.
Yeah. So yeah, we did that. I think we have a Boisterous show coming up soon. I don't know if you've seen that stuff too.
I did not. I have not. Why don't
St.
you?
Norbert Hotel.
Yeah,
When
we
is it?
have it was June 18th. We're playing the knob.
And the knob. I like
St. Norbert.
Yes.
Playing with the knob.
Appropriately, it's
that
on the
too.
south end of town.
Hell
It really
yeah.
is, though.
I'm thinking of Janelle and I are trying to plan heading out to Winnipeg. I think we're shooting for November, end of November. I think
Okay.
is the idea. So frick man, if we're out there, we should all get together and go do something.
November.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that'd be fun.
You're planning for November already? So strippers or no strippers this time?
Fucking strippers, dude. The last time we went to Winnipeg, I got
They'll
the
trick you. It'll be like male strippers this time.
yeah. I don't care. I don't care. Dude. We don't get that luxury here in Saskatchewan. So yeah, when we went out there, I think it was last August, and we were hanging around with Exomerta and Northern Royals, and that was my whole thing. I wanted to go to the Peelers, man, like so bad, and nobody wanted to go with me. But Cody was in. He's like, "Fuck, man, I'll go with you. Like, let's go." So we were kind of planning it out, and it just, for time purposes, it never happened. So I kind of regret that. So yes,
all you get out there is just a couple of moose in a field with thongs on. I don't know.
That's all right, man. That's
the weekend right there. Yeah.
You wake up, what just happened?
Yeah.
It was a good time.
They call strip peelers in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, well, because they peel their clothes off, right? So that might be an old thing. Like when I was in high school and stuff, like that was just the slang term that we used to use for it. So, but that was like 20 years ago. So maybe it's not relevant anymore, but that's what I call it, right? Peelers.
Last time I heard the word peelers was years ago watching a Helix concert on YouTube. And the lead singer said, this song, they were doing Dirty Dog, the song. And he says, this song is from back in the early 80s. Is about all the peelers up here. And I'm like, peelers?
The what?
Peeler. So now it makes sense, right?
Now I know what a peeler is.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Goes
yeah, I
out
guess
to
so. That's
out
kind
to
of
all the peelers with the big old fucking dirty milkers, and out here in Nova Scotia, that's what we call them. Jesus, fuck, boys. Yep.
Right on. So Brendan, are you like born and raised in Tennessee, right?
No, West Virginia.
West Virginia. Jeez.
How'd you get Tennessee?
I don't know. I'm Canadian. I'm an idiot.
It's the South.
Yeah, I was born. Actually, I'm not from New Martinsville, West Virginia, where I currently reside. I'm from Paden City, West Virginia, which is 5 miles south from where I live now, and that's where I went to school and grew up and all that. In just a small town with one red light.
Oh wow,
5 miles is about 7.5 kilometers.
Yeah.
We have
you gotta remember, this is a Canadian podcast. Everybody gets the idea.
Hey Brandon, is Guar from West Virginia?
Not that I'm aware of.
Guar and Lamb of God. I might be mixing it up.
No, I don't know. Lamb of God is from
states
Virginia. Lamb of God is from Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
The good part of Virginia split west back in the 1800s.
Isn't Guar? Are they the ones that's in what's that movie with Liv Tyler? Empire Records.
Yeah,
and they're the band on the TV that, like, when what's his face is tripping out, and they're like talking to him. That's the band, right?
I think so.
They're the ones in the costumes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It's like Kiss.
Oh, for the record, Guar is from Richmond, Virginia as well. So wrong on both counts there, Ash. Nice try. Brad Paisley's from West Virginia. I'll give you that.
Oops.
And Brandon,
Brad Paisley is a killer guitar player.
Yes, he is.
Brad Paisley grew up. Actually, funny stories about Brad Paisley. My grandfather worked with his dad at the West Virginia Department of Highways. We call it the State Road. And Brad Paisley's dad was my grandfather's boss.
No way.
Oh, wow.
Small world.
And Brad lived and grew up probably at about 45 minutes from here, north.
Huh. And that's how you know how to play guitar.
I have to.
I haven't seen him do chicken picking yet, but it probably will be coming at some point. I'll make it happen.
Hey, Brandon, by the way, your guitar playing is killer, man. I like watching the videos when you're doing the leads. I'm not a lead player, so I'm always,
thanks, Ash. Great. I
I'm always envious of the lead players.
Well, I will say this. The feeling's mutual with videos that you've been in. I mean, killer stuff. That Ghost, the Ghost cover vocally and the guitar playing and everything. It was great. And everything else that you've been involved in with Matt, especially the what was it, Matt? That original track you guys did, these days. That were those days.
Oh yeah, these days, those days.
Yeah, that was the original one. Yeah.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah, that was a fun one to do.
We got another one called "I Don't
the
Care"
go-
up on Spotify if you want to check that out too. So.
the
Hey, I'm all for
sorry, the ghost track there was fun because like I said, I'm not a lead player, so when like Matt suggests something, you know, it gives me a chance to really push my lazy guitar playing.
Now, you would suggest that one, I think, of doing that
Was it
one.
me?
If I recall. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was one. I said that earlier. That was one that you actually suggested doing.
I can't.
So-
You're better at keeping track of these things than me.
So I was texting with Matt, I think it was last week or something, and we brought up Monster Magnet. And I was telling him, I was like, oh, fucking, you know, this might be a good cover. And here he sends me a video that you've already done it. He sent me the video of you on stage doing it. If I was to make a request, I would ask you guys to do that on the collab season. Like, instead of just seeing you do it live on stage, like, man.
Yeah, that was at Matt, where was that? Cowboys, yeah.
Yeah,
we played that
because-
at Cowboys.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago.
And it wouldn't
That
even
was
have
like
to be that song, but just anything from Monster Magnet, I think you guys could fucking nail.
That was the first show that I actually played with Ash, and I wasn't supposed to because I guess maybe the other members had just backed out or something else had happened. So back when he was living in West Broadway in this duplex apartment, I just went over there and just I just went over there and rehearsed a bunch of times. Like, this was impromptu. I wasn't even supposed to be involved. I think they came over to my place at one point. I ended up breaking the cajon that they had, and I apologize for that, in advance. But I guess it'd be somewhat expected now that you know me. But yeah, long story short, we did a few of those rehearsals, and then I ended up going over to Cowboys Roadhouse with you guys, and we did that acoustic show. It was just kind of like, I wouldn't call it an open mic because usually in a venue like Cowboys, you don't have open mics. But yeah, we just ended up doing that show, got a little bit of footage. It was well received for the 5 people that were there. I think I was expecting more, but that's just how it goes being a musician.
Yeah.
And then after a while,
Yeah, that was a quiet night.
Home, and that was cool.
I forget who we played. I think we played with The Secret and I can't remember the other. There was 2 others, and
me neither.
Yeah, it was a pretty quiet night, but it was fun. Should have stuck around.
Sure.
Hey, it don't matter if there's 5 people or if there's 100 people. That's why we do it.
Every finger at me, waiting like a stalking butler upon the finger rests. Murder now the path of must we, just because the sun is come. Jesus, won't you fucking whistle something but the past is done? Jesus, won't you fucking whistle something but the past is done? Why can we not be sober? I just want to start this over. And why can we drink forever? I just want to start this over. Just an imbecile center in you. I will chew it up and leave. I will help to elevate you, just enough to bring you down. Mother Mary, won't you whisper something but the best is done? Mother Mary, won't you whisper something but the past is done? Why can't we not be sober? I just want to start this over. And why can't we sleep forever? I just want to start this over. I am just a worthless liar. I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you. Trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you. I will chew it up and leave. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. Why can't we not be sober? I just want to start this over. And why can't we drink forever? I just want to start this over.
Mark, we should fucking get some podcast or Funky Moose drumsticks.
So he can beat the shit out of him?
I'll be
Fuck
your
yeah,
first
man.
signature artist.
We'll fucking sponsor Matt some drumsticks, some Funky Moose drumsticks.
Man, you better cut down some tree branches and give me those. Man.
Does it have to be anything special or just a stick in the shape of a drumstick?
It has to be thick. It has to be in the shape of a drumstick. Oh, a little bit of cowbell there for you. Yeah, it has to be thick. Has to be in the shape of a drumstick, and it just has to last and be able to fit my hand, so I'm just able to work with it.
Does it
and have
matter-
do what I want to do?
Does it matter what kind of wood?
Yeah.
I would say that it does. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was
This
going to
guy,
ask you.
He was in marching band at one point. This guy here, he knows.
I was
I
going to
would-
ask if plastic is an option,
Oh, they break.
right? They'll just snap in two.
Yeah, because I was, as Matt just mentioned, I was in the high school band with the Paisley High School where I went to school at. We were a combined. We were a grade 7 through grade 12 high school. So I was in the band from 5th grade until the 12th grade, till I graduated. So drumming, I played drums all through that time. Of course, I've been playing drums since the age of 4, and I'm 28 now. So 24 years.
Yeah.
Been playing music in general. And the whole thing about drumsticks, you got to have the right material and everything. I'd broken so many sticks back when I was in high school playing snare drum in a marching band. The band director said, "Why you got to keep breaking sticks? These things ain't cheap." I said, "Well, they need to start making them better then."
Right.
So what's the ideal wood for a drumstick?
My go-to was a hickory stick because of the strength of it, because maple's a little softer than hickory. You wouldn't think that, but in terms of drumsticks, the way that they're made, for me, Vic Firth sticks, the Core Master sticks were the best ones that I found, which is what I ended up using. I used the Ralph Hardiman sticks in high school with a nylon tip, and I used the Lee Bettis Core Master sticks with just the regular wood tip, because those were the harder woods out of the ones that they had made, because every other one just crap, they'd split.
Right.
Rim shots, of course, when we got a rim that's a quarter inch thick made of steel, you know, that just kind of, it doesn't give.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I find it
Not
funny
like-
that he's answering these questions about drumsticks. You know, I should be. You know, for me, I'm just a caveman here. You know, hit stick, make noise. That's about it.
I am a
Matt,
drummer. Me hit
Matt.
things.
What are those
Yes,
sticks
exactly.
that Lars Ulrich uses?
I have no idea.
I do.
What are they?
Of course, the guitar player would know. It was he uses him and Tommy Lee both. They use sticks from a head. They're made of aluminum.
Oh,
I see.
does Dave Grohl also drum with aluminum sticks?
I couldn't tell you that.
Oh.
That I don't know.
That's,
I-
I'm gonna Google it.
Because every time I see him drum, he uses black sticks, and of course you can have black wooden sticks, but
You can tape them too, but no.
I just pulled something up. Zildjian Dave Grohl Artist Series drumsticks. They are hickory, metallic
Oh.
two-color artwork. There you go.
Ash, do you play drums?
Barely. I'm like Meg White when he comes over.
Yeah.
I leave that up to Matt, and then when I'm by myself, I use my Easy Drummer drumming program.
Yeah.
Me too.
Nice.
I know it's great. It's when I don't have anybody around to do drums, I gotta do it somehow, right?
Frickin' rights. Huh.
Any more questions about Collabo season or anything of that? I mean, let's continue.
Yeah.
What else you guys want to know?
Hey, Matt, can you answer a question about guitars?
Okay.
Sorry.
There you go. There's your music for the night.
Yeah, so Collabo season is forgive me, I want to say this is season 3 or is it 2?
This is
Right.
2. Season
2.
1 was 2021. It started in March 12th, 2021 with the Linkin Park episode, the first one that came out.
Right.
And it ended with the cover of Firewoman that me and this guy did here. That was pretty cool. It started back up again with the cover of It's Not My Time by Three Doors Down with this guy and Trevor Lux from Playing His Ghost. Trevor, I'm going to be doing another one with him a little later down the road. You know, and,
Trevor is an awesome vocalist, by the way.
Yes,
Yes,
he
he-
is. Yes, he is. So
Very much so.
yes, and right now, let's see. We are 8 episodes in to this season, about to be 9. So things have been moving pretty well. Like I said, we went on a 6-episode streak from January to March. Started with I Ain't the One by Skinner. Me and this guy did that there. Suicide Messiah by Black Label Society. That was Ronnie Ladderbrook and what's his face? Matt Curry, who's also in the band. That guy, right? Yeah. Then we did
So
that one. Then
You're
this guy
releasing
did,
those
etc.
you're releasing those on a weekly basis?
Well, no, I
correct?
mean, it's like, well, not always. It's just when it's available. Sometimes there's gaps, but there have been times, like I said before, where I've just gone on marathon runs. Like what I was
Yeah.
just describing was a marathon run we had at the beginning of this year from January to March. And before that, that was 6 episodes. And then before that, from October, middle to late October, middle October to the end of November, we had an 8-episode run. It was actually just going to be 7, but I squeezed in a Halloween episode, so I made it 8. So yeah, that's the deal.
So walk us through a process of one video, like from beginning to end. How long does it take? Like from the time you figure out what song you're going to do.
Well, let me say this. Working with Brandon here, I mean, the process is a lot faster. We work pretty cool. We work pretty fast. We have a whole lot of free time, I guess. I don't know. But like for him and me, the thing is he records the guitars and all that stuff first. Now, usually it's the drums that comes first, but he records all his stuff first and sends it over. And that can be in the span of a few days. Like he goes in, researches, gets the tone all dialed in, et cetera, sends it over. And then I go do a little bit of mixing, compression, et cetera. And then let's say that's by Monday, or just like, okay, Saturday, we decide on the next song. Monday, he gets to work. Thursday, he has the stuff over. Friday. And then by Friday, I'm already recording the drums for the tune there.
Right.
The next day, unless I feel I have the willpower, the motivation to do it, I'm doing the vocals or whatever else that I need to do. So that could just be like 2 days on my part. The day after, I'm just getting everything mixed in, arranged, et cetera, to make sure everything is like, it's just like, usually I just got to bump that groove, bump the drums up just a little forward, just an inch forward, everything else, just to really get that groove in, that feeling, just make sure everything's lining up. Every little microscopic detail. If a hit is a little early, it's a little late or something, I got to sub something in if it's missing. I always just record a little bit after, just get all that, just get all that put in there, mixed, et cetera, And then once I feel I have a decent draft, I send it over to him on WeTransfer. I say, okay, what do you think it is? Okay, then he gives me the mixing feedback. I go and do what I need to go. I'll do what I need to do. And then once we've gone through that enough times, could be once, could be twice, could be 3 times or whatever. They're like, okay, sounds good. Right after that, I go and start getting into the video. That usually takes 1 to 2 days. I get the majority of it done. Like this current one, I've got 1.5 minutes left to go out of 5. And, I get the majority of it done the first day. And then the rest done the next morning. I send it off to him. Is this good? Okay, this is good. Now, in the weekly promotional process, before I get into that, with other people, when I'm working with other people, like when I'm working with Ash, we pick a song. That could be a couple of days. And then I do my drums. I make sure everything's lined up. I always record it with click now because I've worked with some people originally, like before I wasn't doing it to a click. And they was like, can you do this to a click? Sure. I made that a habit to do so. So everything is just on point. So I get everything lined up, mixed right, send it over to each person whenever they can do it, because a lot of people that I work with are also in bands and they have jobs and families and other lame stuff like that, so, so whenever they can do it, they go and record their parts and then they send it back. Now that could be a few weeks, could be a couple months. You never know.
Right.
It just depends on when people can do things. And then, okay, we got all that mixed together. It might be me mixing it. It might be somebody else. Okay, that's all good to go. And then everybody shoots their parts, or they might just do it correspondingly. They send that over. Same kind of process. Eventually, after however long it takes, that's just, that's basically the deal, and that's just how it goes down. And I am thinking of doing a vlog of the creation of a Collabo season episode sometime soon. But on to the point, as you see, there's the promotional process. Okay, as soon as we get something done, or it's just about ready to go, I draw up a promotional picture, which always is a grayscale picture of myself, whoever I'm collaborating with, and a picture of the band underneath with enough space to fit the logo in so it's not covering their faces. So there you go. I post that out. This is for Monday. Here's what we're doing this week. Me and this person and this person and this person, we're covering this band. See you Friday. Boom. That's on Twitter. That's on Facebook. That's on Instagram and in the stories. And then by the next day, okay, teaser 1, about 20-second clips each, though it varies. It could be like 15 to 30, whatever. I never try to go up to 30, but sometimes it borders around there. But anyway, teaser 1, okay, post that all up. Wednesday, teaser 2, here's a little more. Teaser 3, coming out tomorrow. See you then. 1 more clip. By this point, everything's set to go. The premiere is set on YouTube for 12 p.m. CST as usual. And then occasionally I'll actually, just so I can save some time with uploading, I'll write up like the whole spiel, the whole like paragraph, whatever I want to say about the video ahead of time. So I'm not thinking of it right when I'm about to upload and I just want to get it up. And then I'll just write out a whole list of people that I'm going to tag in so I don't forget them. And then the next morning I'll wake up, open up Instagram first thing. This is Friday morning. Okay. Add the file, copy and paste, whatever details, couple hashtags, ding. And I got way faster internet now. It used to take like 40, 50 minutes. It takes a minute now. So just ding, good to go. Now it's up. Okay, now let me put that over on Facebook. Much shorter caption required. Get the right people tagged in there. Okay, hit it over there. I put it in the stories. I put it on Twitter too. I'd say Twitter, okay, the episode's out now. Here's the premiere link for later. I say, okay, on the Facebook story, good to go. Here's the episode. You can catch it here on Matt Derraugh Drums. On Instagram, Showtime, Collabo season, whoever else I did it with. Just the link right there. And underneath that, I put it in the series of Collabo season on Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. And then I tag whoever I think will be interested, all my compadres and other people, fan accounts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Man, on this last one, This last one I did the Dirty Honey one. Man, I tagged the world on that one because I just knew how good it was going to be. You know, and actually, Facebook, you might have noticed.
I was part of that.
Oh yeah. You were.
And did you share it, Mark?
No, I didn't even see the video.
Okay, we'll check it out after. But my point is, on that video,
we're gonna put it in right here. We're gonna drop that video right here for those of you watching and listening. Right here.
one thing I have done in a couple, and especially in the last one, the Dirty Honey one that I did, is I'll find Facebook groups, other things like that. And on Instagram, I tag fan accounts or things like that. And that's how I ended up meeting Brandon on that Stranglehold video. but I'll tag fan accounts and other things like that, people who will be interested, who will spread the word. And sometimes it'll be, okay, like in BPMF, you got that there, or the Canadian Musicians Alliance, other groups like that. On the last one that I did with Dirty Honey, before I posted, like a few days before I posted, I joined 3 different Facebook groups. I invited you into one, the one that I'm about to mention, Dirty Honey's Rock and Hive. And so previously, before that, I had done a cover of me drumming along to John Notto playing the Soul to the Wire. You know, I just remixed a reel there, and that took the views on that from like 3 to 650. So I thought, okay, well, this is a surefire hit. And once I posted the California Dreaming video that I did, I made sure to post it in all those groups. I got a few in the 2 other groups, which was like the Dirty Honey's Killing Swarm or whatever the other one was. But in Rock and Hive in particular, I got 45 likes on my main profile, 10 on Sid Bloom's post to Musicians and Friends. Thank you, Sid, by the way, for being a consistent supporter. But in that Rock and Hive group, that's an extra 20 likes. People from California, from Kentucky, from Florida, up in Canada, I'll say, hey, man, this is awesome. You know, and I figured that I wouldn't be able to get Dirty Honey's attention right now because they're were up until Wolf had to jump off the tour. They're on the Young Guns tour right now, and they're going to be heading over to Europe in some time. So they're on the road right now. I didn't think I would get their attention, at least not immediately. But I just figured if I got enough of their fans buzzing around, right. Swarm, honey, sorry, but, you know, word association. But I just figure, like, if I get them really buzzing and cracking off about it, they'll be able to share it and bring it to the band's attention.
Like that.
So I think that's a nice little...
Instead of going to the source, go to the fan base and get them buzzing about it.
And especially, it's not like they're a pretty happening band, but they're not like a huge colossal band. So it's just like you have enough of an opportunity in that sense. And especially with new bands that are more dialed into the internet, to get it to their attention, you have a better chance of people coming in on that scale. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how
that's actually the technique that Damon John used when he started FUBU, and FUBU is a clothing line
company. Yes.
Yeah, and that's how he did it. He wanted FUBU gear on rappers and R&B artists, but of course he couldn't get into the club, and these artists wouldn't just take his stuff. So instead, he went to the bouncers of every club and said, hey, you're a big dude. You want a shirt, or you want this or whatever? And those bouncers started using the FUBU gear. So every time this rapper walks by the bouncers to get into the club that he's performing at, every time he saw FUBU gear on these bouncers. And that rapper's like, the hell's this FUBU stuff? And then the bouncers would go like, well, this is Damon John's new brand, and maybe you should reach out to him. So then rappers started reaching out to Damon John saying that, hey, you got some gear for me? Because that looks pretty cool. And that's how he got his start with FUBU gear. And now he's a billionaire.
Dude, that just gave me an idea. So the security company that we're going to hire to do Moose Fest in August, they're branding right now, and they're getting bigger and taking on more clients, like locally and in Saskatoon, Prince Albert area. What if we like put our podcast logo on their uniform somehow, so that when people are at these concerts and events and stuff, they'll see our faces on the security guards and shit?
There you go.
That's not a bad idea. There's something there, right? That's not a bad idea.
Yep. And just one thing, right? So, and like just what you just described, the whole FUBU thing, it's something I definitely heard before. Okay, you want to befriend a celebrity, you want to get into their circle, you go to the people around them. You can't just go up to them directly, otherwise you're just a fan. Just like what I read in that 1 Million Followers book, I said, okay, you want to get influencers and important people to come to your spot and blow it up. Okay, you don't go to that person directly. You go to the influencer of the influencer. You find out who they go to for information, and that person will inform that person. You know what I mean?
See that?
So you got to go in the perimeter.
Right. See, and then my bullheadedness, I don't want to do that. It's like booking a band. I don't want to go through the fucking booking agency. I want to go to the band.
Okay, you want Ash and the Arsonist and Moose Fest? Answer me right now.
2023, baby. Let's do it.
Done. See, there you go. You can do
that. Exactly. So this is our second event, right? We had our inaugural last August. We've already planned for this year's, and that's how it happened. right?
Yep.
We got to meet these musicians through the podcast and the industry and stuff. We become friends, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna put this concert on. Can I get you to play? And they're like, because they know us, they're like, yeah, let's do it. All right, fucking A. Here, done. Like, that's exactly how both Moose Fests have been planned.
Yep.
And we're on a roll to do it 3 years in a row here, because we've got Ash and the Arsonist. And
well, and we have a few more already for 2023.
we do. Yeah, we're actually already fucking booking for 2023 right now, which is
So how-
insane. It's
Brandon's going to be a
fucking
hologram at this one.
insane.
Well,
an
my
NFT
question
or
is
something.
Like, how does this work? Does, like, Joel, do you, or does, when at the opening, like for the opening ceremonies to kick everything off, do you or Mark like ride a moose into the place? Or what?
Yeah, we fucking should. Hey, we should.
Yeah.
Yes,
in
on
mountain- in
a
mountain
high
gear.
throne there with the
Hey,
crown
Ted can ride
on
a
and-
buffalo on stage. You know,
Hey,
he can
Ted
ride a
can
moose on the
ride a
stage.
buffalo.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
That's right. I'm not saying no to it.
I asked Matt on
Huh?
the Fred Bear video, I said, if you're going to go out into the out in the woods, I said, are you going to go jump on a moose and ride it in the video? He said to me, he goes, the authorities will frown upon that.
Yeah,
He
they
said,
probably
we're
would.
not allowed to do any of that. And I said, oh, where's your sense of adventure?
Yeah.
Well, hey, anyway,
Hell yeah, man. You guys should fucking come to this year's Moose Fest and just come party with us, man.
Yeah.
Just
absolutely.
tag along with Northern Royals and Exo Murda there.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? I don't know how serious he was. And shout out to Evan once again. I was talking to Evan a little while ago. And we were talking about that cover and everything that we did, the Hey Man I Shot. And he was like, man, we might have to play that over in Moose Fest this year as well. Can I tag along and do that? I said, "What?" And I was just joking. He said, well, maybe we'll see. You know, we might actually keep
All
on
right.
stage. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm definitely up for a good time. You know, it's only like what, 7-8 hours away. Wherever
Yeah,
it
I
is
think
in
it's
Winnipeg, so
it's 8 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could drive to Minneapolis in about the same time. So
That's right. Exactly. It's
I'll
a
be a
very
hologram.
boring drive. It's very
Yep.
boring.
Yeah.
And there's
What's
a
that,
good
Brandon?
stretch there of no
He'll be the hologram.
self-service.
I said, I'll be the hologram. I'll be the guest of honor.
absolutely.
Be the hologram.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it. I like it, boys. Well, hell yeah. Is there anything pressing? Like, what do you guys got coming up in the near future?
Well, there's going to be episode 29. Brandon Howell and I are putting that out. Like I said, a little Alice Cooper. We are going to be putting that out this Friday. I got I'm about 2/3 through, I would say, or about 60% through the video right
'Kay,
now. It'll be done
so this-
tomorrow.
When you say this Friday, this episode is going to be out on the 18th, I believe. April 18th.
Okay, so yeah, at the time of this recording, which is April 6th, this episode will be out April 8th. By the time you see this, there's probably going to be another video, I would guess, with, hold on a second. Let me look at the calendar. Let me just see. Okay, so this one's going to be April 8th. It'll be the 15th. Yeah, I think we're probably going to be doing, I think Brandon and I have another one penciled in for that week. You'll be looking at the 22nd. There'll be another one coming out. That's how fast we work. But there'll be another one coming the 15th with Ash and I, and you know which one that is if we get our stuff together and do the videos and everything else. So, you know, we got that happening. But for right now, at the time of this recording, there's going to be a really fun one, a really thorough and, you know, thoroughly Midwestern hardcore Detroit style Alice Cooper 80s song happening. We're calling it the Hairathon. We did a whole bunch of 70s stuff. We veered into the 80s a bit. We got one more after this. It's a little more chill, and then we'll get back to regular programming. But for right now, we're just getting our hair on. If you really want to
I
see
love
some
it.
hair, go check out the Poison episode, man. We just did the hairspray and all that stuff, man, because shit, you just have to. That was really fun.
There was enough
love
there was enough Aquanet in both of our hair to stop a freaking bullet.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. And then any Ash and the Arsonist stuff coming up? You said June, right?
I'll let
We
him
have a
answer.
boisterous show coming up, yeah. And me and Matt, we're talking with some people, trying to set up some shows right now.
Hell yeah.
So
indeed.
we'll see what happens.
Right
Yes,
on.
indeed.
And
Yes,
then
indeed.
Brandon, do you have like, are you in a band that's like booking gigs right now too? Or is this kind
No,
of like
not-
your main focus right now?
this is
Hag.
my focus right now, and I do the whole. I got some projects with some. I got projects with some other guys. I got a thing that's a project right now, which it's on hiatus right now, called HAG, which stands for Hal Armin Gray.
Okay.
Which myself on all the guitars, Jim Armin on bass and lead vocals, and TG Gray on drums and sometimes guitar and vocals or whatever. No, my thing nowadays is more of the since with the whole COVID thing here and everything. My thing is with Collabo season with Matt, and I told him, I said that's my number one mainstay, and that's main reason why we work so well together.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, right? I do not reach out to people that I don't think are going to be qualified for the position. See, the whole thing is I get the idea to do collabs just by hearing a song and just being like, okay, as soon as I hear a voice, as soon as I hear a guitar style, I'm like, okay, that person, let's go. And you
Yeah,
don't wanna
I
go
kept
back
telling
to-
you I wanted to do share, Matt, but you won't let me.
What's that?
So I keep asking to do share, but you won't let me.
Oh, well,
I got you, babe. Da, da, da,
Is that which song?
No.
Which song?
Was it? Do you believe? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do that.
Oh,
one.
yeah.
You mean?
I mean,
Oh,
you
wait.
You
I
can
remember
hear
it's-
it.
that
I
might
got
make its
it.
way to the boisterous set on the 18th.
I think you
Come
got
on
it,
down,
bro.
see what happens.
You totally
Yes.
got it.
There's auto
Nailed it.
songs.
Yeah.
But
Nailed
just like-
it.
It's like the thing, right?
That's what
Just
I
the
can
thing, right?
picture.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, okay, episode 3, My Old Self, Why Mouth Mason. I heard that. I'm like, okay, Taylor, immediately. For those who don't know, Taylor is Ash's partner, and she's also in Ash and the Arsonist and Boisterous, and you know she does some vocals. You can see her in episode 3. If you go hear that song, I'm like, immediately that's a song for Taylor. And I was just entertaining doing that as like a cover, and then Ash was like, okay, why don't we just do this as a full video? Boom, there you go. If you even want to
Yeah.
fast forward,
We should
still-
send that to
I still
Earl.
remember though. I
Yeah.
remember that time period.
Listen,
man.
listen.
Oop.
Earl already liked it. He followed me off of that. Wide Mouth
Huh.
Mason, the other two guys, they already liked it back there. You could see their comment pinned up on the
Hell yeah.
post that I have. So
Hell yeah, we love Earl. Earl is definitely part of the herd over here at Funky Moose Records.
oh yeah, and,
Yep.
and I knew a guy who used Jeff Story. He used to work. He lives up at my cabin. He used to work at Warner Music Canada for years, like 25, 26 years, just as a local rep. So he worked with all those guys, and he saw this like, oh yeah, I work with those guys. That was a pretty good rendition. Boom, yada yada. You know what I mean? So it's cool to hear the stories that he has. But originally, and here's for you Saskies, here's a fun fact you didn't know. Actually, I'll give you 2 fun facts. Rylan, aka Ray from Dead Levy, was originally supposed to be the guy on that record who was doing guitar for the California Dreamin' cover, but he wasn't available, so I went and got Bo from Northern Royals.
right.
Then I went and got Jordan from Ronnie Ladderbrook and the Electric to do bass because I just figured he'd be a good fit. By the way, and speaking of the guitars, here's my second fun fact. Brandon, you'll notice those feedback notes that are in right before the solo. Those weren't in before. Those feedback notes are actually the end feedback note of the solo of Fallen Angel that you did there. And I just cut and pasted those in and just pitched them. So you participated in that by proxy.
So
No
needless to
kidding.
say, that was one of them ghost guitar works.
Absolutely it was. And of course, with the voice, who else was going to do the Mark LaBelle vocals but Kevin fucking Hogg? I mean, there was nobody else I could think of to be able to do that. And I wanted to work with him since day one. So I'm like, hey, man, you want to do this? All right, bet. Let's go. And the result is what you see 1 million likes later. And I think we're definitely going to work and do more. And yeah, it's great. But
Do
I'll let
you
these
have-
guys talk now?
Do you have? Sorry, well, I actually have another question for you. Matt.
Okay.
Do you have like a lot of artists out there reaching out to you that want to be part of this, and have you had to say no to a lot of people, or maybe not saying no to them, but just haven't come across a song that they would fit with?
I had one person who wanted to do a cover of Takeda's Forever Young because I did some drum cover of it, but it's not that I turned them down. It's just I didn't notice that they were asking to collab, and I saw that weeks later. But other than that, man, it's just mainly been me reaching out to other people. But I think if I keep pushing, it'll be, I mean, I have one guy who's sort of asking, but it's if I keep pushing in the direction that I'm going, I think it'll be probably people coming on, wanting to work and wanting to collab and all this stuff. But for
Yeah.
right now, it's just me doing the groundwork. I mean, excuse me, I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. In December, I was reaching out to a whole bunch of different people. This is how I just got reloaded off of just going through Instagram and just finding a whole other bunch of people from all over the place. I had a couple guys that just couldn't do it, but I was able to wrangle that cover of Sober with the guy from South America, Dan Roa, and the other guy from Massachusetts, Alex Cohen. Salute to him and Fathom Farewell. We will definitely do something again soon, as we will with Dan Roa, because why not? Let's just keep it going. But no, right now, nobody has really reached out at the moment, but I do think that will change given the buzz on a local level and certainly on a trans-border level in the United States, or at least around West Virginia. A whole bunch of people from West Virginia have come onto my Facebook as a result of that, of the work that Brandon and I have done. And certainly in other places too. You know what I mean? I just want to expand as much as possible.
Heck yeah.
So.
Heck yeah, dude. I love it. But let's end it here, guys. I want to say thank you to the people who tuned in. Give these guys a follow, like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. And you can find all their content in the links in the description of this video. I want you guys to know, Ash, you already know this. You are a friend of the Moose. You guys are welcome on this platform anytime. You guys got stuff going out there. Please hit us up. We'd love to have you guys back on. Doors wide open. You guys,
Absolutely.
we love you.
Thank you.
It was
Yes,
awesome
Thanks.
seeing you.
And
Thank you very much.
And I'm going to see you guys in November in person, right?
Except for
Come
me.
hang out.
And
Hey,
You'll
well,
be the
dude,
hologram.
you gotta
okay.
gotta
either
start
I go down
planning.
hologram.
You got to
either I
start
go down
planning.
there. Either I go down there and we do a show in Wheeling or something, or you come up here. Like either or. I mean, we're gonna make something happen. You and I are gonna meet one day, sir. And
I
these
say
two
Brandon
guys over
comes
here,
up.
We're gonna meet someday.
Brandon comes up to Winnipeg in
Or-
November.
Or
Let's
you meet the
crowdfund a
hologram.
ticket for him.
Hey,
Yeah.
but only on one condition. Only on one condition. I want to go bear hunting up there.
Holy shit.
take off.